Wolverine. Wolverine.
You gotta burn that bush. This is Fluxtaposed episode 246, recorded on January 23rd, 2019. On the docket today, let's discuss lots of things, because guess what? It's not game night. We don't know what we'll do. What You Playing, featuring Mario Odyssey and Downsizing. Finally, close out the show with What's Around the Web and that sweet, sweet, awkward finish. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And enjoy the show. DJ Lucas, spin that thing. Welcome back to Fluxtaposed, gang. I'm Jason Lacey. I'm joined by Lucas Rose.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi, man, that song really kicks up there, doesn't it? I don't remember if I ever listened to it that long. The little beats just keep dropping.
Oh yeah, dude, it gets pretty funky fresh.
Little solo scratches on there.
Wicka
Wicka.
Yeah,
Wicka,
that's why it's so good. That's why it's so good. Obviously.
Totally is. Well, Totes my goats. Welcome to Fluxtaposed. We're happy to have you here. We're here to give you this journey of podcasts and entertainment and nonsense and all the other things we do on a weekly basis, streaming live at twitch.tv/Fluxtaposed. You should come and hang out with us sometime. I promise it'll be a good time. And we're a day late this week. Sorry about that. Sorry, not sorry. I mean, you don't really have a choice. I mean, we kind of already did it.
Yeah, that'll be explained in the IRL section for the most part.
You can't get the day back.
What are you gonna do?
Sorry.
What are you gonna do? I'm right here.
I mean, it's done. It's over. Even if Sylvester Stallone says nothing is over. I mean,
he does say that sometimes.
It's over. It's over now. It's over now. So there you go. We got the Fluxtaposed AMA coming up this Saturday. This is your final. Guys, I know I've said it a lot, but this is your final chance. Your final chance to email questions to fluxtaposedama@gmail.com, because we are filming that bitch Saturday night.
Whoa.
And we'll be done with it. We'll finally be done with it, and it'll be gone.
We don't have to talk about it, and you won't have to hear about it.
Yeah, and then you'll watch it and be like, this is what, then what?
You're assuming it gets edited and uploaded at some point. That's got to happen too.
I mean, Chad's still here. We could probably pay him like
one beer.
Yeah.
Whatever I have left in my fridge, like at the way back.
I might have a KBS still in my basement or something.
I don't know. He's kind of a beer snob.
Ooh, true point.
He's true. Like, well, it's not CBS. I would prefer CBS, but KBS isn't bad. What vintage is it? Because 2018 had a production problem, and it made the beer taste metallic in flavor, I want to say.
So if you got 3 tickets to get this beer, then you are a silly person.
Big dummy. What a waste of money.
I mean, I've met Chad, guys. That's exactly how he talks.
I mean, it was like he was right here.
I thought he was. I'm really impressed.
Thank you.
I'm really impressed, man.
Thank you. You seem impressed.
And this is my impressed face.
I feel bad for your underlings.
Feels like my eyes are burning. I don't know why.
There's a little fire there.
Welcome back, guys. Let's just roll into some IRL. You know, we've always do like all this top of the show stuff. I mean, yeah, you know, we've got a Patreon. You know, we've got a Discord. You know, we're humble partners.
Mm-hmm.
We already picked Netflixation. It's all good. That's
It's
next
fine.
episode, so you should probably watch it.
Yeah.
Let's talk some
Yeah.
IRL. Lucas, I've had to work. Like, I've actually had to do stuff.
Who does work?
And,
yeah, I
you
think
know-
it's affecting our Discord because nobody talks in there when you're gone.
I'm the gravity well that holds it all together.
It's true. You suck in souls and
I'm
make them
glad.
leave.
I'm kind of glad we didn't record yesterday because I was tired. I was super tired.
That's how I'm feeling now, but I couldn't after yesterday or after this last week. That's the least of my problems being tired.
We unloaded
So-
like a bunch of truck. Like
that's right. You had to do manual labor.
Yeah, all of our our cubicle parts came. So the desk surfaces, the side panels, all of that, and then me and a crew were putting together chairs and moving those upstairs. And of course, there's an elevator we can bring up. But of course, when we were conveniently trying to bring up the chairs, the carpet guys were leveling the floor and applying carpet and gluing to the main entrance. So we had to carry them up a flight of stairs instead.
Ugh,
So that was fun.
of course.
So we got that done. Got all the chairs put together today, but I'll just be working on site there probably the rest of the week, putting other stuff together and getting ready because our cubicles will be getting assembled this weekend. The network install should be getting finished off this weekend, if not early next week. And then all of next week, it's going to be like building the monitor mounts on the workstations, and then underneath I've got to get drilled and mounted the computer, like the actual desktop mounts that will hold all the PCs, and then I have a cable management tray that has to get mounted as well. So we'll have to make a guide, drill all the holes, mount all those underneath every desk. So we've got 30-something employees. So at least get those 36 done, and then we can get the extras done, as
Ugh,
we go.
yeah.
So yeah, it'll be a busy time, but we still don't have internet. We don't have internet in the office yet. So
What are you gonna do?
Well, here's the thing. Okay, Comcast is. You would think Comcast business? No, they're just as horrible as dealing with Comcast as an individual. They have no clue what they're doing. They don't have their acts together whatsoever.
Sounds about right.
So AT&T, right? We've had numerous AT&T people out. We've had numerous surveys done because the building is wired for fiber. Building has fiber internet already connected from the road into the building. Fiber's there. So we had a guy come out to do the install, and he's like, "Oh, the fiber's not done." So and then we have another guy who was out. "Oh yeah, the fiber's not done." It's like, well, no shit. We thought you guys were supposed to be the ones that come out and do it. No, this is how AT&T does it. AT&T used to do it all themselves. Then now they got super cheap, and having their own employees do stuff is too expensive. So they subcontract everything out, and they get multiple bids from subcontractors, and then they pick the lowest bid, and that's how they have to do the work. So the problem is they had a subcontractor out there who quoted it, must not have gotten the award. So then I don't know why they bring out this AT&T employee today to do the final connection, but there's been no wiring done for him to connect it to. So it was like a complete waste. But he was really helpful, and he was like, honestly, if I was you guys, and time wise, I would just find, if you know anybody, I would just have somebody else run the wire rather than wait for AT&T. So
Yeah.
we contacted that subcontractor that we got the quote from, and we were like, hey, get us a quote. Can you do this for us? He's like, yeah, if he can, he'll do it for us on Friday. So here's the thing. I've finally, through the maze of this we're in, I don't know if I ever told you, we're in what used to be Steelcase's headquarters. This is a massive building.
That pyramid
And,
thing?
Not the pyramid.
Okay.
Steelcase had the pyramid, and they had this building on 36th Street, which had a ton of like shipping docks, and
Gotcha.
it's this huge compound. So I went through the labyrinth that's in the basement, and I found their old main server closet. So I've seen the AT&T box where the fiber internet's coming into. Sure enough, there's nothing else coming off of it. So we need actually someone to come in and wire. It's like about 300 feet from that box to our suite. So we need someone to actually run cable, either a fiber cable, those 300 feet, or you can do it with Ethernet as well. And it's cheaper with Ethernet. Ethernet's like 60 cents a foot or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Fiber is a lot more expensive, so we're just going to do it with Ethernet. So we got to have somebody come in there, run the 300 feet of cable and clean it up and snug it up, and so it looks good, and then have AT&T come in and make a connection from that box.
Just literally go
convert it,
boop.
yeah, and then they have some sort of media converter that'll convert it from fiber to Ethernet, and then convert it again on the other end, and we'll be done. So hopefully this guy will install it to come in and do that run on Friday, get that cable run. Then we can hopefully get AT&T out again next week to actually do the finalization, because we're hoping we want to be like using that building on the 4th of February. So in 2 weeks, less
Oh,
than 2
wow.
weeks time, we want to be in there. And right now, the only hiccup appears to be internet because our carpet's in there, our kitchen's going to be done, I'm getting our water and coffee service hooked up, our bathrooms are done, everything else is going to be done except the internet.
The part
And
that you
that's
actually
that
need
we
to
actually need
do
to
the
conduct our
business.
business. Yeah, because we have voice over IP phones. Everything's on the line. So yeah, I'm getting a bigger office though, so that's fun. I thought I was gonna get this tiny one, which is like a third of the size I want and now I think it'll be equivalent, if not bigger, to the one I'm in
Nice.
now. So that'll be nice because I'm gonna have a standing desk, which I'm looking forward to. And I just want to have another like workspace area for when I'm, working on other PCs and phones and stuff, and
Yeah. You don't want to have to
plus
do that on
storage for
your
yeah.
regular business desk, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Yeah, because the one I'll be getting it's about maybe width wise just a hair longer than this desk I'm using right now, and it's got a little more depth to it. But I think it's like it's not standing. It's not a Veridesk. It's not, maybe it's an uplift desk. I don't know, but it's got little motorized buttons, and the whole thing just goes up and down. So that'll be kind of cool.
Nice.
I've always wanted one, and I'll get one. And that's simply because I
Moving
can't have
on
a
up.
cubicle. I can't have a cubicle desk in my office. So. So yeah, looking forward to it. I mean, it's just been a pain in the butt getting all these bits and pieces to come together. So tomorrow I'll be putting together filing cabinets. Well, putting the casters on the bottom, and then
Rolling them around.
rolling them around. So
Nice.
it beats sitting behind a desk. But I tell you what, after the couple of days, like yesterday, I was hurting. Today, I'm like I can tell just my body's just tired. It's like now I'm kind of looking forward to just sitting behind his desk again. But both days, I'm supposed to not be over there until the afternoon. But both days, like something's come up, and I've had to go over there early. Like today, the AT&T rep was coming up. Yesterday, they didn't give us any heads up before the truck was going to come. So, and the worst part about all that is like delivery was supposed to be included. This company that we got all the furniture through should have been doing all the delivery. And it's just that's a longer drawn out story for another time. So, needless to say, I'll be happy when this week's over. I'm tired, worn down.
Sorry to hear that, my friend. Weekend's
okay.
coming. Weekend's coming. We're halfway there.
It's for the greater good.
The greater good. All right. Well, shall I regale you with tales of splendor?
I mean, I can't think of a reason not to.
I ain't never been regaled before. I don't know what that means. Let's start with an early in the week story of last week, I think. Or no, maybe it was Saturday. I don't remember, but it was Sunday. It had to have been Sunday. That's right, because they were almost late for church. So morning comes, and I'm laying in bed, and I don't typically go to church. I usually sleep in, and my wife and son go to church, and because I'm a horrible dad and I'm lazy. And usually everything goes pretty well. He's usually excited to go, so he wants to, get going and get dressed and everything. Well, I could hear over the we still have the baby monitor in there, so I could hear over that things were kind of struggling to get going. And then all of a sudden, I hear my wife yell.
Thank you for correcting that.
Yeah, she was like, Isaac Charles, what are you doing? What did you do? Like mad voice, like mad mom voice. I'm like, what's going on? Because that hardly ever happens.
And when you were like, pretend to be asleep, don't get out of the room.
No, I got scared. I was
hide.
like, it woke me up immediately. I was like, well, so much for sleeping in, because some shit's going down apparently. So I get up and I walk over into the bedroom, into Isaac's bedroom. I'm like, what's going on here? She says, your son was on the bed, and he said to me as I was getting his clothes out, he says, look, Ma, I'm peeing on the bed. And she thought he was joking because he's never done this before. He squatted down in his clothes and just peed. I don't know why. He got yelled. We both were not happy with him.
It's not funny, but it's funny.
Well, it's funny now, yeah. I mean, it's not like he hasn't wet through his diaper before, so it wasn't a pristine mattress anyways. But still, it's just like, dude, come on, man. There's only like one more clean spot left on this mattress, and you probably just ruined it. So
Where are you guys? Like, I'm forgive me if I'm just don't remember, but has he begun potty training, or is he still?
he's potty trained. At least he knows he should go pee in the toilet. He doesn't want to ever poop in the toilet, so that's been a struggle. But he doesn't typically pee at all anymore. This was the first time in months. It was ridiculous. So I could understand why she was so pissed. I was just
Look,
like,
Mom, I'm peeing on the bed.
I'm peeing on the bed, just happy as could be, happy as a lark. So I'm like, and she was like, I need to tag out on this one because this kid is frustrating me. So I said, it's fine.
I'm gonna go to jail if I don't.
Yeah, she's like, I've never yelled at him like that as bad. I said, well, he did pee on the bed. He needs to know that you can't just urinate wherever you feel like it, at least unless you're outside, because that's a man's privilege, and you're allowed to do that.
That's a life plan that I live by. I just go whenever
it just happens.
Yeah,
that's. I mean, if it works for you.
Adult diapers, man.
That's true. That's true. I mean, if you're not buying underwear, just buy the diapers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, I got another quick story before I get to the reasonings behind the delay. So I ordered some contacts. I talked about in the Healthify channel of Discord that it's hard for me to work out with these plastic glasses because they have a tendency to I can just look down and they'll slip off my face half the time.
Yeah.
They bend really easily because of the plastic frame. They're very frustrating to own. Unfortunately, they're usually the cheapest, aside from compared to the metal glasses. So I usually get them anyway, even though I hate them. So I'm like, all right, it's time to order some contacts so I can work out and play in VR and stuff again, and I just need them. So
there's no games for VR though.
That's true. Only experiences and porn.
So I have a PSVR, so there's no media for you to enjoy.
That's true. Well, the Vive won the war because apparently everything only comes to the Vive. So, that's what happens when Facebook buys a VR company, apparently. So I ordered these contacts from ezcontacts.com. Now, I've used them in the past, which is why I ordered through them, because you can just reorder what you've ordered before. And I just basically hit reorder and hope for the best, I guess. 7 days go by. 7 days. And I'm like, where the F are my contacts? They haven't even shipped. So I started looking at the website more and more. And instead of preparing for fulfillment, it went automatically to shipped on their, delivered on their website. But if I clicked on the actual order and went into the order, it said it was still processing / waiting for fulfillment at the warehouse. So I emailed them. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Now, this is the second problem I've had with them now, because I had to order contacts with them for Danette. And she had never ordered from there before, but it still took a while because they have to validate your prescription.
Was it discountcontacts.com?
No, it wasn't. Easy Contacts. Close enough.
You should have used 1-800-CONTACTS.
I think I looked at them. I don't know why I didn't go with them, but I have looked at them before.
Which is the one that had the commercial? Was look with your special eyes.
Gosh, I don't remember. I don't even think that was a contact commercial or whatever. I'm sure YouTube knows the answer. So I contacted them and I'm just like, what the hell's going on? So it turns out that they didn't have the stock in the warehouse, and apparently they were just going to let it never go fulfilled ever. So when they were like, we contacted the supplier to ask them if they could ship it directly to you so it would be faster. I'm like, it's not faster. It took 7 days before you did anything. What do you mean faster? You should know when the order comes in if you have the right amount of stock. Otherwise, when I ordered it, it should have said out of stock. You were just going to take my money and not give me anything? Dumb bastards.
I mean,
terrible.
That was the plan, but you caught on to it. So then they decided
exactly.
They had to deliver a product.
Most people are too lazy to even bother. So needless to say, it's already been a week and a half now. They have shipped, but I'd be overnighting them bitches.
No,
They
they're not gonna do
should.
that.
They're not going to, but they should. I probably won't use them again. I have to get my prescription will be up in March, I think, anyway. So they're done. They're out of there. Get them out of there.
Get them out of here.
So that's the contact story. Lastly, Jason, Mario, I am not.
Oh no.
It's not the me. It's not the Mario. Luigi, maybe, depending on how much plumbing ability he has. Or does he just, hand over the wrenches, the plumbing wrenches?
I feel like Luigi does all the work and Mario just gets the credit.
That's Mario just eats the pizza. That's the pizza pie. That's all he does. And like Max on Peach and Daisy. Because, why not? They're both single, ready to mingle. What do you want from me? So,
What do you want from me?
what do I mean by this? Well, listen. It goes like this. We have an upstairs faucet in the bathtub. And you know how you pull on that little tabby-doo that says, I'm ready to take a shower. I ain't taking a bath. I'm taking a shower. And you pull it, and instead of going down the faucet, it comes up through the shower head.
Yep.
Well, problem with that is that it can get kind of corroded, apparently. I've never had this happen before, but it did over time this last week, to the point where my wife would have to wake me up before she go to get in the shower and be like, hey, can you pull the tab? It's stuck and I can't get it to move. Like it would not just stick, but it would literally be like it was bent or just corroded in there so bad that it wouldn't pull. It wouldn't pull up, and also sometimes it wouldn't push down. Like I'd have to use a shampoo bottle and just smash it to go down. So I got tired of being woken up and being like, hey, can you come, do this? Because it wakes up Isaac and everything because she's trying to sneak into the shower, and now you got to deal with this dumb bull poo nanny. So I said, all right, instead of just, getting the faucet replacement, why don't we just redo everything in there? Because the handle is old. We wanted one of the turning ones, but this was one of those where you almost like in a regular bathroom faucet at the sink where you lift it up and then twist it kind of left and right depending on how hot you want it to be. I hate them. They're always too hot or too cold. It's too hard to visually see what you're doing.
I have a hot faucet and a cold faucet.
Yeah, that's nice too.
So I just had to, but then you got to play the game, the dial-a game. You're like cracking a bank safe, and you're like dialing, trying to get that just right.
That's right.
Ooh, too hot. Ooh.
See, I just turn on the hot all the way and then adjust the cold. You know what I mean? That's how I roll. I wonder if there's anybody out there who turns on the cold all the way and adjusts the hot.
See, if I turn the hot all the way, like I've been in the process of continually turning down my hot water heater because it's like scalding hot still.
Oh, that's good for the baby when you're trying to give him a bath.
Well, yeah, especially because he monkey see, monkey do, and he always sees me with my hand underneath it, checking the water temperature. So that's all he ever wants to do is put his hand in. I'll be like, hot. I go, yeah, don't touch it.
Yep. Been there. Yeah, so I wish I had just the two because I think the one is much more difficult. So what I didn't know is when we bought this thing, so it comes with a shower head, a new faucet, and a new shower valve and handle. Now, the shower valve, in my mind, I thought, okay, you just unhook everything and then take the old shower valve out with the handle on it and then put the new one in and put the handle over it. Oh, no. No. You silly fool. You dumb idiot. Why I didn't this is like the one time I didn't YouTube something to see what it would be like before. I know.
You're the master YouTuber of home projects and car maintenance.
I watched something on YouTube and I go, I could do that. I'm a man. I could do that. They did it. Why can't I? No, I didn't know what I was getting into. So this required me I got all the other parts installed. The faucet was fine. All I had to do was unscrew that and screw a new faucet in. Boom. Problem would have been solved. We would have had an old, ugly faucet handle and everything, but who cares about that? The shower would have worked. So I get into this project and I installed that part so that was fixed. And then the next day I was like, all right, I'm going to tackle this thing. Cause I knew once I saw what I was getting into, I was like, I'm going to need more than just, to disconnect it and reconnect it.
Yeah.
This involved sawing pipes off. I had to saw the valve out of there. So I had to saw through 3 copper pipes and 1 galvanized steel pipe.
Oh, gosh.
I sawed the galvanized steel pipe twice because what happened was they make these fittings called shark bite fittings, and basically they're compression fittings. You stick them on there and they kind of bite down because copper is really soft, so that it can just bite down with the teeth and stay in place. So you don't have to weld.
I have both. I have quite a few of those. That's what when we took out our bathroom that was up there and we put it in, connected. That's what we did, because it's just like you just take 2 pipes, stick them together, you're done.
Yep,
so
exactly.
Nice.
Exactly. So I bought the ones that have the screw end, because of the valve. You would screw the ends into the valve, and then, like you said, put the 2 pipes together.
The
and
official term for sticking the 2 pipes together.
Sticking your pipe in there. So that's what I planned on doing. Now the problem was that the shark bite connectors, one, they would work fine, but they added too much length to this whole thing. So there wasn't enough. So then I'm like, okay, am I going to have to cut more pipe? What's going on here? Then I have the problem of figuring out, because I couldn't unscrew the bottom pipe, like I said, the pipe that goes down to the faucet. So you've got 4 pipes. You got 2 that are hot and cold, or each respectively, 1 hot, 1 cold. 1 goes up to the shower. That's the 3rd pipe, and then 1 goes down to the faucet and comes out into the bathtub. That's the galvanized steel pipe. The problem is, because of that, it was actually threaded. Galvanized steel is threaded so that you just, on the inside, you can just hook it up to whatever has the screw end. With the copper pipe, you have separate thingies that you'd actually turn with a wrench, and they turn independent of the pipe. You know what I'm saying? So the problem is the galvanized steel, you have to turn the entire pipe to get it to get it to screw in. I can't do that because it's already all hooked in and there's nowhere to screw. Like, I can't rotate it.
Yeah, you can't rotate it.
So I'm like, what the hell am I supposed to do? So I cut it off, and that's when I realized they don't make compression fittings for galvanized steel pipe. You can't just put a shark bite thing on the end of that. So I'm like, oh my God, what the hell am I supposed to do now? So I go to Home Depot, because of course you can't do a project without going to a hardware store. I went to this place 5 times by the time this thing was over.
Oh God.
Not in one day, 3 in one day, 2 in the next. So I go and I find a compression fitting. They do make them, they just work differently. The problem with that, though, was that I was rebuilding this pipe and then making it so it would screw in at the end, and have like that type of fitting instead of having the whole pipe do that. But it was too long. It made the valve go like way up too high. Couldn't connect to anything except for the bottom. Too long. Didn't work. So now that I've bought like $10 or $20 worth of frickin', fittings and pipe and all this other shit that I can't even use, I was like, I can't. This was after having multiple hurdles to get over. For instance, I couldn't get the pipe I connected the valve to the pipe, but then I couldn't get all of that back into the shower in the little hole where your handles are. Like, there's one big hole. I couldn't fit it back in there because there's a board back there for support that your pipes are kind of attached to. So when I tried to put it all back in, it was getting stuck. So, long story short, I ended up having to call the father-in-law who has done plumbing. I was like, I got myself into some stuff again. Can you come help? Thankfully, he has experience with plumbing and soldering. So, because you have to solder, they had a specific, I think it's called sweating the pipes. You basically make a connection and then solder it with some literally some lead or whatever it is, lead solder or tin solder, whatever it is. I don't know.
I've soldered pipes before.
Man, I should called you. Look at you.
Well, that's because it's easy because you don't really have to be precise.
That's
Unlike,
true.
you know,
That's very
unlike
clear.
you're doing electronics, you just got to make it sealed.
Yep,
You know?
that is true because it was dripping all over the place. That sweaty pipe was dripping, boy.
Yep.
So he came in and he cut the valves down at the bottom and just redid everything. He made a new copper pipe for the bottom because what he ended up doing was connecting it to the hot and cold, the left and right, and then it was kind of like stuck in place so you knew how long the other two things had to be, the top and the bottom. So he had to remake the faucet pipe out of copper, which actually ended up being better because it gave more pressure to the shower because it's a smaller pipe.
Yeah.
But yeah, he came over, and the whole reason why we ended up having to cancel the show until tonight was because we were working on it on Monday night, and he was trying to solder up the last connections, and we kept getting these leaks that in his because it's hard to solder the backside because it's up against the shower wall.
Yeah.
So at the time, we didn't realize that was why it was leaking. He thought he was getting it all, and he'd already been working on it for 2 hours. So then the next day he said, I'll come over after work, which was Tuesday. And that's why I was like, you know what? Let's just cancel because I don't know how long this is going to take.
Yeah.
My mom ended up spending the night too because the weather was supposed to be bad. And then it turned out not to be that bad. And I told her just stay because I don't want to have to waffle about whether or not you're going to be here or not. So yeah, it ended up being so I had 2 nights basically where my free time that I'd normally be doing something was also kind of soaked up by having to do this stuff. So I was really just like, having a horrible time with it. But it's
plumbing. I just don't.
It's like the guy that I saw at Home Depot, like the 5 times I had to go back because he was helpful. Thankfully, he knew what he was talking about, but he didn't really ask me any questions that would have led me to know that none of the stuff I was doing was going to work. He was like, yeah, every time somebody looks at plumbing stuff, they think it's not going to be that bad of a job, but then they start doing it and they run into problems, and it's just not good. So Tom Servo is chatting it up.
He's on fire though. Servo's on fire.
Yeah,
Do you
smaller
have to do this
pipes
all
are
because
better.
you drilled into the pipe?
No, I did not drill into the pipe. No, I only drill into cable.
Because like we really like honestly our sink sucks, and whenever like we talked about this, whenever they put in the side of the sink we don't use a lot, they didn't measure the pipe properly, so like the actual drain is a little bit off center of the sink.
Yeah.
So it's like a bad seal, and then they just took a bunch of plumber's putty and shoved that down in there to seal it off. So I mean, realistically, all you have to do would be to take it apart, cut that pipe and slide it over, making it, and glue it back in just a little bit. But that's just at that point the whole sink really needs to be replaced. And it's like, well, if we're gonna do the whole sink, you really need to just replace the countertops too. And it's like, well, shit, we don't have that money, so I guess we're just dealing with it. Keep that Tupperware down there underneath that sink in case it leaks. And,
I don't blame you because as soon as you start working on something, it leads into some other problem, and then next thing you know, you're redoing your entire piping and whatever that PEX tubing or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised how well my pipe project came down here, because what we had, we sawed off the pipes where they were running up into the room above it, and we capped those with because they're essentially like the shark bites, but they're capped, and you just put them on top. So we put those, and then we use shark bite to connect everything, and
Yeah, that does help.
And then that first time we run the water through there, though, you're just waiting for something to like the pressure to just blow something off, and then
right in your face.
But our bathtub is old and gross, so it's like at some point,
Yeah, that's how ours is too.
It's the same thing. You want to replace all that stuff, but like the access point to get into there is, I think you'd have to like take everything out of the closet, and then which would be kind of nice because you need to cut a hole in the closet, and then you can get right there. It's right on.
Oh, trust me, because guess who has a hole in their drywall right now because we had to get to the other side of it. We have probably a 3 foot by 1 foot hole in the back of right where you can see it, because the shower is stupidly like
Yeah.
off to the side. So there's the
So
back of
how
the shower
do
would be
you
right
patch
there.
that?
Well, her dad is going to help with that because he's had to do it before. He's not really known for his finishing work, but he can rough it in, and then I'll come in and like finish it. And he would probably agree with that. I know it's been said around him before. So I guess what they did before, because it had a smaller hole already to get to the shutoff valves, and what they did was they installed a heating vent cover like you would put over just a regular heater vent on the wall, not on the floor. And then above that, they actually make these brackets that you can screw into existing drywall, and then I think you just tape over the seam and then paint it. You can't really tell, or maybe they puttied it. I don't know. I would imagine you probably would putty it. Otherwise, if you tape it, I would think you would see it. But clearly, I don't know. But yeah, so that holds it in place because you don't have any studs there to like screw it into or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, I guess that's how you do it. Is
Way
we would just cut it up.
Cut a piece of drywall and then anchor it to the others and
Yep, and
seal
then
her up.
seal her up, and then it'll probably look like shit because hell, we don't know what we're doing. I don't know. I saw it on a YouTube video.
Right. I mean, I don't think I've got any DIY prod too much in my future. Besides, like, honestly, like, if I had the money, like, I need to replace like doors. Like this door in the basement doesn't seal well and it sucks. The door in our back that goes onto our back porch sucks. Our front door sucks. So I would like to replace all of our storm doors and all the main doors. But
I want to replace our windows because literally you could just walk by one and it's just like, is there a door open? Is this window fully open? What the hell is going on?
Yep. That's what it feels like too with our windows. But then it's like, well, you want new windows? Well, that's going to be $5,000.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
So it's like
Mike was friend of the show. Mike was over when my wife signed me up for somebody to come over from one of those like home and garden shows that sell windows, and he came over for a demonstration and an estimate. I was like, well, these windows are definitely better than the ones that we have. And
how much is it going to cost me, Bob?
Yeah, he did. He said, how much do you think it would cost for you to get new windows? And I was like, or per window. And I said, I have no freaking clue. I don't know how much it costs to put a window in. I was like, I don't know, like $1,000. And he was like, you idiot. Because this was before we did the slider door too. And they were going to do that too. And he was like, that slider door is going to cost you $3,000 alone. I said, well, then you can, I didn't say this, but then I was like, well, you can get the hell out. Yeah, exactly. So let me just fall over. So yeah, it's fixed now. Besides we got to replace a tubifer and put the hole back together, patch it up. But we have running water. So we had to go one night without and one day.
Hey, you got to do you did the kitchen sink by yourself. I mean,
that stuff's easy. I find it's a little bit easier when you can actually access it. So I will never take for granted, just being able to go under a cabinet and get to the pipes instead of try to
PVC
work.
PVC is a little easier to work with too.
And yeah, you just
glue it all together and custom cut it and.
Yep, I use those little. I shouldn't because they have failed me, but they failed me for the last time. The where you. I don't know what it's called, but you screw it together.
I see that.
It's not a quick connect. I want to say quick connect, but it's not. But it's the ones where you put it all together, but it has these rings. So you put the screw cap down and then this green ring, and then you screw it together, and it's supposed to compress it together so it never leaks. But guess what? It leaks all the time because you don't glue it. So of course it leaks. You dummy. Ugh. Horrible. I hate that part of home ownership. I'll paint a wall. I'll gladly paint a wall, decorate. That's fine too. Move in furniture. Hell, I'd rather move in that refrigerator that we bought. That was horrible. But I will not work on plumbing ever again in my life. Terrible.
So you don't want to come over and help me?
Well, I don't mind wrecking your house. I don't want to wreck my own house.
Oh, okay.
Wrecked them.
Wrecked them all. Wrecked them straight up.
Hate us because they ain't us.
That's right. Well, I mean, did we just play an Overclock remix and do some what you playing and have a shorter show?
Yeah, I think so. Well, and we have 2 around the web things, and I can make, you know me, I can make what you playing last forever. So
How much time you got, boy?
I only got half of what I did down. I can have the other half.
We didn't talk about this. Typically, according to the schedule, this was going to be a game night, and I was like, Lucas, do you feel like dealing with the game night? No, I was like, me neither. Because here's the thing,
No.
guys, we don't. Believe it or not, we don't typically pick the game we're going to play until today, the day of. We do the show, and then it's like, okay, we got to do, if it's a ROM, we got to get it working, get the emulator, we got to get the sound, and there's just always something that goes wrong with either the overlay or the game itself.
And
or
I
the
just wasn't feeling
controls.
excited about it. Usually I can get over that to a certain degree just by being like, yeah, we're going to play whatever it ends up being, but not today. I was just like,
I can only play one game right now anyway, and it starts with Smash and ends with Brothers. So, I mean, like,
is
why am
that
I gonna
like
play anything
Eskimo
else?
Brothers? Hey,
Yeah,
I
that's-
unlocked all the characters on there. That's another. That's something I don't.
that's talk for later.
No, that's part of the part. That's the list I didn't. Part of the list I don't have on there. Should I? Can I roll? Can I roll the spin the dice?
Yeah,
roll the
let's play
wheel?
an Overclocked remix.
All right.
Save us from ourselves.
I'm
please.
doing. It's happening. I'm doing it. My God, is it gonna be? Oh, okay, good. It's not like 40 like it usually is. Whoa, it's number 3, Jason. I wanted to see what it was.
Splatter, 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 splat-toon.
Splatoon.
Funny, I just saw this one got added the other day, and I was like,
I have
Hey.
been playing.
maybe we should play some Splatoon.
I don't have a.
Or
I don't,
Splatoon's. I mean, it's Splatoon remix.
okay,
That-
I
it
don't have Splatoon.
So while Lucas downloads that, let me tell you what we're gonna play tonight, gang. This is called Full Sleeve Ink Me Up. It's from Splatoon. It's by Ocean's Andrew. He's our remixer. Splatoon, of course, was released in 2015 on the Wii U by Nintendo. Our remix is, let's see, it comes from the Ink Me Up song, which I won't know by name, but I'm sure I will know it by audio recognition because I played a lot of Splatoon.
Are you like an audio recognition software?
Yeah, my name is Shazam.
Nice.
Did
Can
you
you
know
are,
that?
are you like the game show where I have to try and guess it before?
I get paid as much as Jamie Foxx, so I mean, I'm sure I do.
I highly doubt that. Well, let me tell you about I've only played Splatoon once, and that was at your house. I think it was the first Splatoon.
It was the first one.
With the old Wii U, whatever the hell you want to call that, pro controller, tablet controller,
Gamepad.
gamepad. It's a game inside of the pad, and I'll tell you one thing.
The Fisher Price tablet.
That's kind of, yeah. Well, especially now when you have the Switch to compare it to. I'll tell you one thing, brother. It was tough to get used to the motion control aiming.
Yeah.
I switched it over to halfway through, and I was like, oh, I much prefer the thumbstick. However, now that I go back and think about it, you do kind of get used to it after a while. You almost prefer it, like because I played Paladins like that for a little while, and you can really fine tune your aiming.
Yeah. It takes you have to recondition part of your brain to
I think that's
kinda
what it
teach
is.
yourself how to do that. It was kind of like when I tried changing my Smash Bros controls, and because I traditionally have always used right trigger for shield.
Yeah, I heard you
And then
talking about this on the
and I
sag.
swapped that over to jump, and then
You damned fool.
I was terrible. But then once I learned it, I could do it. But then I didn't like it, so I switched it back, and then I was constantly trying to jump, and I was shielding instead.
That's what happened to me.
Not good when you're off the stage, and you're trying to save yourself and trying to do a double jump,
God.
and you shield instead, or in this case, you air dodge. So
I had the same thing. I was using trigger for a while, and then I switched back after playing with when you came over that one night, and we made sweet love. Afterward, we played Smash, and I was like, this is way better. Why did I ever try to do trigger? It is nice because it feels a little bit more natural in your hand to jump that way on the controller. but your brain doesn't want you to do it because you've been conditioned for however, like 20 years to press a button to jump. And God forbid you ever, some sorry sack who thinks that up on the left analog stick should be jump. What the hell is wrong with you?
I mean, that's the problem too. Like, now you're conditioned that triggers are like going to be a gun or something like that. It would be nice if you had like the scuff controllers or other advanced controllers, and you'd have the buttons on the back, that you could use, so you could like just tap a button there. Not on a GameCube controller, but like on the Xbox One controllers and stuff.
Tom Zervo says, what the fuck is up with that up to jump crap? Now, I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but
N64 people.
I also read that it's more popular in Europe because a lot of their games, they played a lot of computer games back in the 80s and stuff, and they would constantly map up to jump instead of, because the two buttons that they had for, I'm talking like Atari days, the two buttons they had would do the same thing. Both buttons would do the same thing, and then you'd have to press up to jump, which would be really stupid. So maybe that has something to do with it. N64, explain.
That's how that would, like, the first Smash game. You could jump.
You could only press up to jump.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could jump with the button too, but that was on there with the analog stick, and I think a lot of people just learned it that way.
I see. Yeah, I guess if you think like as a kid,
it's not like you couldn't remap your controls. So I mean.
Yeah, but if I was 12 and I started playing that game, I'd just be like, I guess that's how they want you to jump.
I just don't know why you'd like that, because in my mind it's really easy to waste a jump accidentally, and then if you're trying to do an up tilt, it'd be so hard, because I like to be able to have it off, because you can just hold down up and then push the button. You can do an up tilt super easy, where otherwise you'd have to like very tiny, move that thumbstick.
Yes, sir.
No, thanks. So you want to play this remix?
Yeah,
now
we're ready.
The beautiful website of OSTRemix.org that we feature every week on the show.
Go for it.
Well, let's go. All right, we're going to play this remix from Splatoon, and we are going to come back for some more show stuff. You won't want to miss it. You gotta get the boom, 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 boom.
Woodman? Woodman?
Yeah. Yeah.
I faced a Mega Man and he kicked my ass and he was green. You know who else was green? You know who was
Clown
green?
Man.
No. I think he was purple. You know who was green when you beat them? Mega Man. When you beat Woodman. What do you think about that?
That was the worst. You know who's green? Mega Man. When Mega Man, he's green.
I was doing something. I was doing what they call stretching for time, so that I could get a different sound effect for what you play.
Fighting in Mega Man, it can be really annoying too, especially when they use the leaf shield, because they'll just drop down the leaf shield and then they shoot it at you, and they'll run at you with the leaf shield, and then they shoot the M-Buster at you, and then they hit you with the leaf shield too, and it's like you can't really do a lot against it except just avoid it, and it's like otherwise it's like a guaranteed probably like 15% damage. I played one that just did that over and over and over.
Yeah.
Over and over and over. Let's do some what you playing.
Shit just got serious.
My God.
Mortal Kombat 11. That was for Mortal Kombat 11. It's coming out in March, I think, or May. One of those M months. Anyways, that's not what we're here to talk about.
That's not.
Don't be silly.
Let's talk.
Geez, I wonder what you've been playing.
The only thing I've been playing. I mean, I got my Nidhogg 2 review out there, so I mean.
That's true.
I don't have to play anything else now. It's just back to Smash. Although there was this an indie highlights trailer that dropped for UK. Dropped it, Nintendo UK. We got some good games. There's some good indie games coming to the Switch, and those are like all I could have managed to afford, really. So there's a couple games there that could pull me away from Smash. But no, yeah, I still play Smash. The last Saturday.
War Groove or what's the other one everyone's talking about?
Chucklefish games on there look really cool.
Chucklefish. That's hard to say.
It is hard to say. No, I will. I streamed Smash last Saturday and had a lot of fun playing with Jonathan Brown, good friend on the old Discord, and he has the honor of being the first person besides Tom Server to defeat me.
Wow.
It was fun because I got to, he plays Kirby and he's got some good solid mechanics, but I was able to point out some stuff that that he should not do because it sets him up for easy punishes and how to elevate his game. I was like, hey, you need to go. You're letting me back on the stage for free. You gotta challenge me.
That's
a little
something
bit,
that that's hard to get used to because you're not in every other video game. You're not supposed to jump off the stage and chance of death.
I couldn't in Smash 4. I had no, I didn't
edge guard or whatever
edge guard at all. I never went off the stage, and you really got to do that. Then I
was just gonna say it definitely works better with some characters than others, at least in my experience.
Some characters have a lot better kit for it than others. Yeah,
I've noticed. I die a lot as I've just been trying out Little Mac in his edge guard. If I stay planted on the edge, I'm okay.
No.
But if I jump out there,
you can't go off stage with Little Mac.
It's so bad.
He has no recovery.
He just goes straight up.
With Little Mac, you're kind of stuck on stage, and it's just all going to be about your spacing and
going
hits.
It's like real boxing. You have to jump in, get some hits in, and then jump back out before you get your ass kicked.
Right. So I will say this: I had some very favorable matchups because I was getting matched with people that were near my GSP, but I don't know how because I don't like coming across as like a condescending player, but they were not good players. I don't know how they were ranked the highest they did. So I wanted a lot of matches, and I got up to, what did I get to, like 3.3 million? And then all of a sudden I was like, okay, let's go see what my stats are. And I backed out, and then the message said,
oh my God, the angels descended from the heavens.
Glory was bestowed upon me, and it's like, Elite Smash! And I was like, holy shit, because I just wasn't expecting it. And honestly, the pull, now that that's finally happened, the pull to like constantly play Smash it dissipated a little bit. So I think part of it, there was a little bit of a carrot on the stick for me to unlock that because I wanted to say I don't care that I have it. Mm-hmm. I haven't played as Falco since then. But I kind of wanted just to do that. And so I now after I watched what was it Glitch 6 I think was the tournament that was going on last weekend, and I watched a bit of those matches as well, and then I finished them during my break on Monday,
Did you
and I
pick
watched
up a
like the
few
grand
moves?
finals. Well, no, I just saw some of the characters, so I was like, I really want to. I've always wanted to play as Fox, and I just really struggled at it as him. So I made an effort. Now I'm kind of trying to learn Fox.
Question. For those tournaments, do they turn up the game speed on some of these things? Because
No, that's just how the
oh my
pros play.
god,
Yeah, I saw that too because I watched that, and then I went back and I watched some of my Twitch stream, and I felt I was playing on like quarter X
Quarter
speed
speed.
compared to those guys. The game
Yeah.
looked like I was playing on underwater because how fast they move around and jump and do everything,
okay.
and you watch yourself.
That makes me feel much worse because
Super slow.
they were playing, I think, Smash 4 a lot of because I was watching replay clips and stuff, and I was just like, "Damn, do they have this thing on 2 times speed? What's going on here?"
Yeah, it's just
This is
the
awful.
power of the powers of the pros. Like, did you see any matches of? You should watch this guy Tweak play. He's a Wario main. Does some insane stuff as Wario.
I think Tom Servo was telling me about to
Yeah.
watch him to see
Yeah, I
like
think he
some tips
was.
and tricks, and I have not done that yet, so I have failed
Oh
to.
man, yeah, it's crazy. So I got inspired to kind of learn Fox. I mean, Falco's still my main, and I think I always still play Falco. But I think you always want some of the other characters to fall back on, and I really need to probably learn someone that's not, because Fox and Falco are kind of similar. I kind of need to learn someone that's a little bit different style. But I don't know what other character. Like I like Cloud, but I don't like Cloud.
Well, if you
at the
like
same time.
swords, there's about 20 characters to choose from. I've noticed. So
I mean, I do like Lucina a lot, but it's tough. I struggle with doing stuff with her, but then I watched Nairo in that tournament do some crazy, like he would drop so far down, like at the edge of the screen, and then get an up. I don't know what he would use to get the kill, but then he'd still be able to get back up on the stage. It's insane what
Good
these
Lord.
guys can do. So that was fun. And here I was, downsizing was supposed to be my featured in here. I just rambled about more Smash Brothers. I haven't talked about Smash Brothers every
Skip.
week since.
Everyone hit the 15-second skip button 8 times.
No, we watched downsizing on Hulu. I think it's on Netflix as well, with Matt Damon from a couple years back, where the whole thing they can shrink people down and live their lives. And because Jess thought when we watched Suburbicon, that was the movie. She was like, she thought the downsizing was the one we picked, and that's why she was like eager to watch that. Because remember, Suburbicon was a little weird, a little out there, but downsizing was really good. It was a little long, it comes in a little bit over 2 hours, but it's really good. I really liked it. It's interesting, like, because we talk about it. The whole premise is you're struggling in life, and I think they had as a household they had like maybe after they sold all liquidate their assets, they had maybe $200,000 in the real world.
Oof.
In the downsized world, that's like $5.6 million.
Oh,
So because everything costs less, your food, everything. So
Yeah.
it's a whole lifestyle, change. So then, the perils of that, and it was a good movie though. I can't remember. I don't want to give away too much of it, but we watched it and it was good. It was really good. It was a good movie.
nice. Nice.
We liked it, and really, man, that's been it. We've watched a couple random things here and there on TV, but I finally went back to Castlevania.
Oh, yeah.
Watched episode 2 like 8 months after I watched episode 1, so I don't remember anything that's
What
going
is
on
going on?
except that Trevor Belmont is in the show.
You're still in the first season, right?
Yeah. Like, I just watched this where he like defends that he beats down those 2 church dudes in the alleyway,
Yeah.
takes off that guy's finger, and then he's like agrees to find that guy's son's body or whatever for him.
Okay. That's kind of where it starts to pick up. So
Because there's only like 4 episodes in that first season, isn't it? It's like it's really short.
it's 4 or 6, yeah.
Yeah.
Very
So-
short. Yes. Well, good. I hope you get through it because I like it because it doesn't have the typical anime tropes for the most part. So
Yeah. There's that, and I want to support, other video game inspired.
Well, we're
media.
gonna have a Zelda, a Zelda anime by that same company. So I hear.
Oh yeah. And there's a Nintendo Direct on Thursday.
So I hear. Can dreams come true? No.
Well,
This
that's
is the
it.
real
That's
world.
that's
All
not my
right.
stuff.
All right. Well, I watch some movies. I watch lots of movies, but I only gonna talk
Yeah.
about these
When do
ones.
you get? When do you get? I always think about this, when do you get all these movies watched? Are you just like, is that your nighttime chilling stuff, or like?
When do I get the time, or where do I get the
Yeah.
movies from? Yeah, I
No. When do you
haven't.
get? Where do you fit these into your
So
schedule?
I'll watch one.
Because you've been watching a lot of movies.
I've been
lately.
cracking down on the movies. The problem is I went to the library and I keep picking movies up because they're free, and I'm like, oh, I want to watch that one. Why get it through Netflix and pay for it if I can just pick it up for free? So now I think right now I've gone through some, but I still have about 6 to watch over there, not including the Netflix one. So that's 7. And then I have some that I've watched already. So I have like 9 movies over there. And so I need to take them back. Thankfully, some of them got renewed, so I don't have to like take them back immediately. But that's what I've been doing, is doubling down on. I'll watch a movie when Isaac takes a nap, if he does, and if he takes a decent nap. Typically, that'll be like a 90-minute to 100-minute movie. Then at night, I will watch the longer ones or the ones that are less actiony, so they're not as loud.
Yeah. So if all goes to the plan, you can knock out 2 in a day.
Yeah, and I'll still, if I get them done, like if I start at 8:30 and it's a 2-hour movie, I still have a little bit of time to do gaming and stuff. It just depends on how the night goes. So yes, I've been getting through a ton of these movies. One of which is Raising Arizona. I didn't realize this was a Coen Brothers.
Cage,
yes,
right?
Very young Nicolas Cage. I didn't realize this was a Coen Brothers movie. I've always heard like people reference it here and there, not nearly as much as Fargo or anything like that.
That was a Coen's brother movie before it was cool to watch Coen Brothers.
Yes,
movie.
Exactly. I don't know if this was their first one or second one, but it was pretty early. But it's about, if you've never watched it, and I hadn't, so I felt like I needed to. It's about a couple who come together. One is Nicolas Cage is kind of a bandit, so to speak. He's usually up against the law in some fashion. Likes to rob liquor stores and stuff like that. And then the woman he falls for, her name's Ed, as he says. Now, what kind of name is that for a pretty girl like you, or something like that? I don't know why her name's Ed, but it is. And she's constantly taking his photograph, his mugshot, when he gets into the police station.
Okay.
So that's how they know each other. And eventually her fiance walks out on her. And so they come together and they want to have a kid, but they can't have one. She's not able to have children. And
I'm looking through stills of the movie, and there's this picture of this kid in striped shirt next to, scribbled on the wall, it says fart.
Yep. That's his.
Like, this is great.
That's his boss's children, and they come over and basically wreck all of his stuff because they have they don't discipline their kids at all, and the dude is constantly just like a horrible person.
John Goodman's in it too.
Young John Goodman, as well. Yes, about Roseanne age by the looks of things, and he plays somebody that he knew these two brothers in prison, but they want to have a baby and they can't, so they decide that they will steal one of the quintuplets of this furniture outlet, unpainted furniture outlet store guy. He's like a local celebrity or something. It's great. So it's got kind of that Coen Brothers feel, but it's not quite as distilled into this movie as it is in some of the later stuff. But it is still weird, and it was enjoyable. It started getting like really good after about 15 or 20 minutes. But Nick Cage, he's not quite as crazy as he has been in some of the other movies, but he's got that charismatic, over the top nonsense.
I'm a sucker a bit for Nick Cage. I've always enjoyed, like, he was I don't know where to think of him as an actor anymore, because look at his career and look at the movies he's been in. He was in a lot of like big budget blockbuster action movies.
Then he did Ghost Rider, and then everything went bad.
I mean, what you got in 60 Seconds? You're
Oh God, I forgot about that movie.
Face Off.
Yeah, Face Off. I need to watch
Con
that.
Air.
Again. Con Air.
I mean,
I
Baby
think
Bird.
I think Mike told me there was a documentary on YouTube that was talking about how underrated of an actor he is, actually, and how he's actually like is very serious about acting and what he does. Although it would be like you see him in Kick-Ass or something, and it's kind of hard to believe that, but I guess he really gets into it. So
the death scene in Kick-Ass.
that's great.
But I want to know. I don't know what to think about him now because he just does all this weird shit.
You know? Do you know why he does the weird shit?
Because he needs the money.
Yes, that's pretty much what it comes down to.
Because doesn't he have like a he has an issue with collecting, wasn't it? He has spent all this money on this on
dinosaur bones and all sorts of crazy
random stuff like that.
Yep. So now he has to pay it off, and I don't remember for sure, but I think he had some tax issue stuff going on too, like back taxes and whatnot. But either way, yeah, he needs the money, so he'll say yes to just about anything, which is kind of great because he was in Mandy, and like I don't know if anybody how that movie would have turned out if anybody else would have done that role.
I need to watch that.
Yeah, you do. It's on Hoopla of all things.
Yeah, it's on Hoopla.
You can get it for free. Although I watched another movie on Hoopla. I completely forgot that's another one. Damn it! It's called The Greasy Strangler. I'm not going to talk about it. It is
Greasy Strangler.
Yes. It's like I don't even know how to describe this movie. I thought The Holy Mountain was bad, but this one is just it's like anti-comedy almost, but then it comes back around and is funny because of how offensively horrible it is.
Okay.
It's hard to explain. You'll have to watch a trailer or something to get it.
Did you ever watch Hobo with a Shotgun?
Yes, Hobo with a Shotgun. That was sort of in the vein of that kind of, but even there is a story. It's just so outlandish and weird and grotesque and just effed up. So, but anyways, yeah.
All right. I digress.
But the whole point of that, the reason why I brought that up was because Hoopla streams in like a lower resolution. It's like 720p or something. I could tell it was pretty bad. Probably because they're assuming you're watching on your phone.
Yeah. I just don't care. So.
Yeah, I didn't. Well, I was like, I'm getting this movie for free, and I can't find it free anywhere else. So whatever. So Raising Arizona, I'd give it a 4 out of 5. A 4 out of 5. I can't keep doing that, or else my What You Playing will be really unnecessarily long. Yeah. Just like my lifespan. Anyways, The Florida Project is another movie that I watched. I watched this yesterday. Yeah, yesterday.
That would be funny if they just said, Florida Project's another movie I watched. I watched it yesterday. Another movie I watched.
Yes, I should have, but I'm not a comedy genius, clearly. So I was kind of looking forward to this movie, hoping it was uplifting or something. No. It makes you feel like garbage. It actually, this combined with some other things that happened today really depressed me. It was horrible. So all I'll say about this movie is it's about a mom, a single mother who she has, what would you say, like a 6 or 8 year old, right? Because you talked about this, like you said on the show.
Yeah.
And they live in a hotel complex that is near Disneyland in Florida. And it was interesting to see. I mean, she's not a good mom, really.
No.
I mean, everything is kind of like party. You know, it's always like happy, fun times. There's never any discipline or anything. Her kid is a little shit and gets in trouble constantly with another kid from one of the other rooms at this hotel. But the interesting part was, sorry, I thought my dog was going to throw up again. So you see twice yesterday, threw up 2 times. So you see these people who live at this hotel, and it's not a very nice place to live. But they actually kind of come together sort of as a family to a certain degree because they all live so close together that everybody's business is everybody's business. So a really cool scene that kind of made me feel this way was when Bobby, the manager, played by the guy I can never remember
Willem
his damn
Dafoe.
Thank you, Willem Dafoe. Great actor, by the way. When he spots a sexual child predator hanging around the kids, and he was painting, and he kind of was like, who the hell's that? I don't recognize him. So he goes over there, and because these kids are unsupervised for the most part, but they're just playing nearby the hotel, and he goes over there and takes care of business. And it wasn't just like, he doesn't just go over there and yell at the guy. He calmly leads him away from the kids, talks about, they use like being thirsty as a euphemism for what he's trying to do, which the guy totally doesn't understand. But, you know, when he knocks that drink out of that, he takes one sip of the drink and brings it back down because he's clearly not thirsty. He was just bullshitting. And he smacks that Sprite out of his hand. That was hilarious. So it was interesting to see those parts of it, but then it was also sickening to see just like your kid's taking a bath and you have a John in your room so that you can make money, because like that stuff is just makes me feel bad, because then I'm like, that really does happen though, probably more than I want to know.
I mean, unfortunately, there's probably a lot of people that have no choice but to live that way.
Yeah.
And
She did say she was trying to get a job, whether or not that's true, but she couldn't get a job at the place where a friend worked, where they got all the free food from. Well, at least for a little while. But yeah, like it was a good movie, but it really kind of depressed me. I'd give it a 3.5 though, overall.
And that was, if the actress that played the mom, that was her, she like got discovered for that role. Like she had no acting experience. I believe.
Really?
But yeah.
She did a really good job. Like I didn't recognize her or anything, but I was just kind of like, is this person really just like this all the time? And she's not really acting at all. Like, I don't know. 'Cause it is very, very urban, I guess, to put it nicely. Like, I'm not trying to be mean or anything. I don't really care. It's just, I would never, I don't sound street. I sound like a nerdy white guy. So what do you want from me? She'd scare me. I'd run away and cry. But yeah, the ending is very sad, and I won't spoil it for anybody. Lastly, not much to say about this. I actually wasn't going to talk about it, but I do want to bring it up just because it ended up not being that good. It's called Midnight Special. I watched it because it was kind of a sci-fi-ish movie. It's about a kid who has the ability to intercept radio transmissions and satellite transmissions and stuff. And so there was a cult built around this kid because he was intercepting government messages and just spitting all this stuff out, and people thought he was being prophetic and stuff. And so they're trying to get him out of the cult. Like the father is trying to get him out of the cult with the help of a childhood friend of his, the father, and his mother, the kid's mother. And it just was weird because there was really no explanation as to why this kid could do this or why it was happening, other than there was this other level of humans that lived kind of
mutants.
No, that's kind of what I was
X-Man?
expecting. Nope, he's more of like an angel or something. But they live in this. No, not that either, because that's what I was thinking too. I was like, is he an angel? What's going on here? No, they live like on another plane of existence that is side by side with Earth, from what I could tell. And so he has to get to the specific spot so he can cross over and live with them, which it seemed to me like these parents didn't really care if their kid just like left forever. They didn't seem emotionally distraught by this whatsoever. So that's what the whole movie's about, is escaping the government, escaping the cult, and trying to get to this place. I didn't really care about any of these characters. That's really what it came down to. Like, the one thing that you should do with this movie is care about what happens to these characters, and I didn't really at all. I mean, it was just like, okay, see you later, kid. You got there. Bye. Sorry if I spoiled it for anybody, but yeah. It was a cool setup, though. I thought it was interesting. It just... the premise, it just didn't really play out very. It's got Michael Shannon. No. Yeah, Michael.
Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't remember his first name. And I like him. He was amazing in Shape of Water, so that was cool. So I'd give it a 2.5. And really, that was all I was going to talk about. I'm just going to do 3 movies. But then something kind of cool happened today. This evening, actually. So I left my Switch upstairs laying around, and my son happened to see it, and he knows what it is. He's played around with it before, but he's only really just now getting to the point where he understands what the thumbstick does and what the buttons do and stuff. He's not just mashing them. He actually knows that you can use it to select things, and he knows what the letters are. Like I can say press A and he'll find the A on there and press it. So he's getting better with it, but he still can't, there's no way he could really play a game. I still have to open it up and get him to the spot where he knows how to take it from there. Like in Mario Kart, he can go from the part where you select your character from there on. But I'm the one who's got to set up the versus mode or whatever so he can race against computers.
Yeah.
Well, he wanted to play the Mario Odyssey game because he likes watching Mario. He watched him on Mario Galaxy. He messed around with that when I hooked the Wii up. And he thought it was hilarious that Mario would duck and make a little whoop noise. He was laughing so much at that. I was like, are you okay? So he wanted to play Mario Odyssey. He wants to play the Mario game. And I said, okay. So he played this for a little while. And then I had been playing Smash earlier, so the console went dead pretty quickly. And I was like, well, we can take it downstairs as long as Mom says that's okay, and we'll just plug it in and play on the TV. So he's like, yeah, let's. He wanted to do that. So we go downstairs, and I hook it up. And I forgot Mario Odyssey has a 2-player mode, and it has an assist mode, so you can see the little arrows that tell you where to go and everything, which is actually really helpful because I would say follow the blue arrows, and he would for a little while, and then he'd wander off and go, look, I'm swimming in the water, which actually ends up killing him or whatever. But he, who cares? I had to push down that part of me that was like, you're wasting all your lives. Yeah, exactly. What the hell's wrong with you? I would never hit my kid. So anyway, I realized this, and I thought, well, shoot, why don't I figure out what I can do on the 2-player controller and see maybe we can play this together just in some capacity. I didn't care if he was putzing around. I just wanted to see what I could do and see if it would somehow we could be cooperative and do some interesting stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
we're just putzing around and we don't have to beat the game or anything, but at least have it be fun for both of us. So I played as Cappy. And honestly, he actually was doing a really good job for a 3-year-old. He would walk around for the most part. And I think they actually set it up so that you could have some control over what was happening. I imagine they probably figured younger kids would be playing as Mario or Cappy and made it so that either one of them could accomplish things. Because even as the 2nd player as Cappy, I could jump off of his head and wander around if I wanted to. Which means I could pick up coins and I could do all the stuff that normally would require you to throw Cappy. I could do that without having Isaac have to do that. So that was really helpful because I could accomplish things that for instance, I could pull a lever because he wouldn't know to throw Cappy onto the lever and actually have it raise the bridge or whatever.
Yeah.
And so we played like that for a while, and we were actually able to get through the first world, the hat world, with the black grass and everything.
Yeah.
They made it so you can beat the boss as the hat. I can do the stomp, so I could just hit the first boss and he would get knocked down, and then I would just do the stomp as Cappy. So that was pretty cool. That it made him feel like he was playing the game more than he really was without me having to take the controller and be like, let me do that for you. So it was actually a really cool experience.
You've got the controller that's not contacted.
Yeah, exactly. You're playing the game. I used to do that with him, especially with racing games and stuff where he didn't really care. He would just watch what was happening. So,
right.
Yeah, we just sat together on this chair over here and just played. Father and son played a little Mario game, and it was cool. Yeah, I imagine for some kids that's probably what it was like to have their first Nintendo and play, Super Mario Brothers with their dad or whatever. So
right, yeah.
I was really, I don't know. He probably won't remember this at this age, but I hope that he picks up the not the habit, the what's the word I'm looking for? Why can't I think of it? The hobby. Good Lord. Jeez. I went all episode without having a brain fart, and then I farted on a hobby.
The
thing with the thing
that you play with.
You do. I hope that he can pick up the hobby in a healthy way instead of being addicted to them. They can be something that you do.
Yeah.
But also, you don't have to be like, this is all you're ever going to want to do. So
right.
It was just a lot of fun. And that's it. I did some other stuff. I played some games, but I'll talk about them next week or something. I don't know.
Well, let's go around the web.
Around the web.
I was waiting for it.
I can't not do it now. This was a messed up story. Oh my God.
Shared by Tom Servo on our Discord, and also shared by Josh Barboni later today. Florida man falls victim to leprosy after sex with armadillo. Yeah, that's the headline.
I want things to make me feel happier, not more sad. Now I'm even more depressed.
Right. 22-year-old man has contracted leprosy after family members admittedly reported to officials that the young man had frequent sexual relations with the family's domesticated armadillo. I don't even like.
I'm not even familiar with an armadillo to know how that even works, but I guess if you have one long enough, it's going to be fairly obvious.
So apparently leprosy has seen a revival in southern states, specifically Florida, where they've had 9 cases alone since October.
From armadillos. That's where it's coming from. Because I was fascinated, so of course I read the entire article as I held back my puke.
I love this. Doctors interrogated family members after the disease had proliferated to the young man's pubic area.
An uncommon area of the body for the affliction to spread, which I didn't know. I just assumed leprosy went everywhere. So leprosy can be cured?
I'm assuming so.
I'm going to Google. I always just kind of assumed that it couldn't. But of course, all of my leprosy experience comes from the Bible. So
this last paragraph is just so worse, too. He's like, he was a shy young man. He was always keen about animals, so we let him keep it. He was very fond of the little critter. He would spend all his time with him, even sleeping with him at night. We knew it was a little bit awkward for a 22-year-old to spend so much time with an armadillo, but he looked so happy we never said a thing. If only they knew how happy he really was.
Oh, he was happy, all right. Yeah, it's curable with multi-drug therapy.
Okay. So according to the Center for Disease Control, armadillos are the only animal to carry leprosy, a bacterial disease that affects the skin and nerves. The Health Resources and Services Administration has reported that there are currently about 6,500 cases of the disease in the United States.
Damn. It takes 12 months, by the way. You have to take...
Wow.
Yeah, you have to take a combination of antibiotics and other stuff for 12 months, which is crazy. I wonder if you have to keep switching them out because you know how worried they are about antibiotics these days.
I mean, I hate to go down this road, but I mean, I think, first of all, I think armadillos are like a cool creature when you think about it. Like, they have that armor, that plating.
Yeah, they're a really good example of how
I just don't know how you go, man, that really gets me going. I want to stick my dick in this.
I would imagine I feel bad for like assuming any of this, but I would have to imagine that this person was imagining some kind of reciprocated relationship where it's just an animal. This animal has no idea what's going on. But you know how some people attribute like human characteristics to objects or animals or whatever. I think this is going way too far, and just I have a hard time believing that he just sees an armadillo and thought, yeah, I should put that on my penis. Like, that just seems, I think this person really cares for this animal as if it were a person in a very wrong way, in the worst way. So, good Lord.
Lucas, now that I'm sick to my stomach,
Yes, mine's much less.
Take me someplace. Can you take me higher?
I
To a
can.
place where blind men see.
Can't be much worse than that. So yes, I can. So I saw a video about this, and then I did some research because it was just a random YouTube video, and apparently there are now AI neural networks that can, basically a website. You don't really need to know how it works, but it's a website that's hooked into an AI neural network that has used machine learning basically, to upscale images four times of their original size. So you can go, now this is just an article, but there are websites that you can go for free. You do have to sign up, but once you sign up, you can do it. And people are using this to take pre-rendered backgrounds from games like Final Fantasy VII and Zelda, the Ocarina of Time, to because, for instance, Final Fantasy VII, all of the files, the background and art files for that game are lost now. I believe it was Final Fantasy VII, because they didn't think they were ever going to remake the game or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's the problem with a lot of games of that era. Like I remember Tim Schafer was talking about that with like Grim Fandango or something like that.
Yeah.
Because stuff was on physical media, and or it was on, you actually had actual physical art pieces done, and so and that stuff doesn't, it doesn't get backed up. It doesn't, offices get moved.
Yeah. Exactly. And so you take a game like Final Fantasy VII, where every single background is an image that somebody had to construct and then save as an image file or whatever. That would be a lot of remake. At that point, you might as well just be remaking the game like they are. However, now you can go into the game files. So what these people are doing is they're getting the game files, putting them into this AI website thing, and then it spits out a four times rescaled image that you scale back down and then put back in the game, of course, for the PC version. And you get a much higher resolution background. Obviously
that's probably the big thing about that game suffers, is because you're probably you're playing, and what's your max res on that, 1024 by 768
probably, and that's only and that doesn't help because the pre-rendered backgrounds are pre-rendered at whatever they were rendered at. They don't upscale at all.
Probably 680 by 640 by 480.
Yeah, something like that. So then you go into a game like Zelda, where you just have textures on everything, and you can just take those textures and do the same thing. And so your clarity of like your ground textures or your trees and stuff like that would increase. And people have been doing this for a long time in stuff like Skyrim. You'll see like in Skyrim on the PC, you'll see tons of like 4K or 8K retexture packs and stuff like that. But that's usually because something like Skyrim was made with the idea that you're going to mod it. Final Fantasy VII, that's a completely different undertaking.
Right. So I have to assume that it's kind of like a low effort type thing too, because you're just spitting it into this AI.
It just
and it's
takes time.
It back. You just got to like manually swap the files.
Yep. Did you
You're not having to do any work.
Did you see the examples that they had on this web page? You have to scroll down pretty far.
I glanced through the image. I glanced through that video. I like skimmed the video.
Gotcha.
To kind of see through that, but I mean, you can see like at least from the textures just pop a little more.
Yeah, you can most notice it on the train at the beginning of Final Fantasy VII, for instance.
Yeah, because like the rest of the the art direction in that whole scene's pretty dark and muddy anyway, so it's kind of
Midgar is terrible.
You don't really notice it too much there, but like if you look at those like the Final Fantasy that Zelda screenshot comparing the two Twilight Princess visuals, that's like drastically different. Like the reflections in the water, the clarity on the ground, the richness in the background, and just look at like the sharpness and the contrast between on Link as the wolf,
Oh yeah, and his fur and everything.
Yeah, crazy different. Let me look at this screenshot of his face here. Oh, right there.
He looks really dorky in this.
Oh, there's on one of the title screen too, but
Yeah, on the
so
bridge you can really tell a difference.
wow, yeah, the sharpness on like that, it's like that original shield version update. Yeah, wow. Crazy different. Like it shatters even the HD remaster that was on Wii U. It looks way better.
Yeah. And it's just
Wow.
great. You can do this. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up too, because that's awesome. The software is called, okay, so the one they're using is a $100 piece of software called AI Gigapixel. So that's actually software, but there is a website. If you look up AI upscaling website or something like that, I was able to find one that you just drop a picture on and it'll upscale anything you want. I don't know if it works as well as this one does, because if it's $100, I imagine it's got to be a little bit better. Or maybe it can do batch upscales or something. But yeah, just to think like, you snap a picture on your phone and it's kind of blurry and shitty. If you were able to scale that up 4 times and then shrink it back down, how much more clear that would be. That's crazy. Like, typically you can't get back resolution. This is like in Blade Runner when they say zoom and enhance or whatever. Like, that doesn't really exist. But here, it's proven that it could one day. They said it takes 2 to 5 minutes on the website, but everything eventually becomes faster and faster. So I'd have to imagine.
Right.
So just crazy. This world's crazy. We're living in the future, man.
The future.
So that's my around the web.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, speaking of getting around the web, let's get around out of here. Next week.
That's a smooth transition.
Next week we're gonna be doing Netflixation. I believe we're doing Bird Box. Wasn't that our
Boyd Box? Yeah.
The Bird Box challenge. Drive around and blindfolded.
Yeah. Sandra Bullock's in the Bird Box.
We'll see. I watched that how many weeks ago? We'll see how much I remember. Right?
You should just watch it again to refresh your memory.
I don't want to. It was that bad.
I don't review a movie unless I've seen it at least 5 times. Because that's
okay, Michael.
That's the only it takes 5 times.
This isn't the True Myth Media podcast. This is Fluxtaposed. We do things half-assed and by the seat of our pants.
That's right. Based on how many titles they go through, I really hope they're not watching them 5 times. Otherwise, they've got an exceedingly large amount of times on their hands.
No kids.
And yep.
I mean,
that's the answer to life.
That's the answer to life.
One day we're just gonna not exist anymore because we couldn't be bothered to have kids, because we just, how am I gonna play my Zelda game at 60 hours? I can't have a kid right now. What the hell? And
that's
we all
right.
Die out.
So, Bird Box next week, Netflixation. And now it's time to say thank you to all of our patrons, but special thanks to our Arbiters of Awesomeness, Kevin Austin, Kyle Heyman, Tyler Rowland, Tom Servo, BSVG, and our Executors of Excellence, Josh Burboni, Dan Anthony, Edwin Callow, Siri Renee, and Devin Tyus. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. If you want to join the Flex Legion on Patreon, please check out patreon.com/Fluxtaposed. And we will see you next week.